Anthony. Thank you for joining me on the Happy Whole You podcast.
And thank you so much for having me. Let's have a powerful conversation and see if we can transform some lives. That's what I'm
Yes.
about.
Well, my listeners are all about that. So they're in for a treat today. Now, I do want to jump right in because you've been called the
Oh,
teacher of teachers, and the leader of leaders.
oh boy.
What do those titles really mean to you?
Well, in the course of my career, I've been doing this for 3.5 decades. And I just, life itself just kind of led me there. I ended up working with a lot of leaders in communities and leaders in companies and leaders in the sports world. And I just, I ended up teaching a lot of leaders and teaching a lot of teachers. So eventually I ended up getting that reputation, the teacher of teachers and leader of leaders. It's not something I was searching for, just something that happened. And, I always had a mission to transform communities and transform lives and transform industries. And I understood that in order for me to transform those industries in an efficient manner, I should be working with the leaders that lead those industries. So that's why I started focusing on that. And it just took off. It just took off, Anna Marie. It took off, and I'm thankful and grateful for it because I'm here to help. That's what I've been put on this planet for. And the thing is, when people, unfortunately, we get so socialized that we forget. We forget who we are. We forget our capabilities, and we forget our spirituality. We forget how to live in our physical bodies, and life becomes tough. Life, you struggle, and you get depression, you get anxiety, you have doubt, you have fears if things are going to happen or if they're not going to happen. And I'm telling you right now, by the law of life, it will happen if you'll focus your energies. And most people just don't know how to do that. And I mean, if you really think about it, what do we have right now? I think the last thing I researched was we were about 2 to 5 seconds in our attention span right now. 2 to 5 seconds. We can't focus our attention past 2 to 5 seconds. And I'm gonna tell you something. When it comes to energy, focus is the key. So if you can't focus yourself, you can't move your energy the way you should be able to move your energy because you're in control of all of this. And I know society would tell you, no, you're not, but I'm here to tell you, yes, you are.
Yes, and I think my audience, they're well aware that their energy is everything, and, where their focus goes, energy flows. Everyone's heard that one before. But you've cracked that code of human optimization. And what is that code that you have cracked?
Great question. You see, when I was working with, and I still do work with private clients, I was focusing on the common denominator. The common denominator of success, the common denominator of failure. I was looking at that. I was also looking at the common denominator of our biology, our abilities, our creativity. And I found and discovered that there are three primary laws that are inside of every single human being. And this came through a lot of interviewing, a lot of people at the top, and a lot of people at the bottom as well. I spent a lot of time talking to people under the bridge. Most folks won't go talk to those people, but I wanted to know because I wanted to know what got you here. And, I want to know your story of how you ended up under the bridge. So I had to ask some questions so I can get a complete, clear understanding. But there are three distinct energies in all of us. We have so much power, it's unreal. We talk about thought, word, deed. And I strongly focus on these things when I'm transforming people's lives from the inside out because you don't understand how powerful your thoughts are. You don't understand how powerful your words are, that internal conversation. I'm not talking about what you're saying to the world because that's your commercial.
Yeah, right.
I'm talking about what you're saying to yourself in the dark when no one's around. I'm talking about what you say to yourself when you're walking in the park and no one's around. That's what's critically important. So that internal conversation is another energy source, primary energy source. And that third and final primary energy source is your body and your movement. What are you doing with your body? People don't understand that anything and everything that you're trying to accomplish comes from your body. Your thoughts come from your body. Your ideas, your energy, your words, your actions, all of it comes from your body. And your body is so divinely connected to not only the physical world, Anna Marie, It's divinely connected to the metaphysical world.
Mhm.
And the metaphysical world, I don't know if you know this or not, but it controls the physical world. It's not the other way around. It's
Right.
the things you can't see that are controlling the things that you can see. It's
Mhm.
the things that you can't touch that are controlling the things that you can physically touch. So it's understanding the laws of creation. And most people don't know the laws of creation. Most people don't know the laws of this game, this life that we have. And so they end up losing the game or they end up struggling in the game. But when you understand the laws, oh my God, you can master them. And then you'll see really how powerful you are.
Mhm. I couldn't agree more. And we talk a lot about on this podcast, and I work with people, how our thoughts and our words are everything. And our thoughts and our words will program our biology. And that is how we show up physically. And shifting a thought, one thought alone can be shifted in 150 to 300 milliseconds. And so that's the power, I believe, that we forget that we hold, that we can shift where our mind is at, where our thoughts are at, which will change our physical body. And so I love that you're tapping into all of this and that code of optimizing, you know, each individual because it is the mind, body, and spirit. And
Oh, it's the Anna Marie, it's the law. Let me tell you something. It has nothing to do with our opinion. I tell people, I'm not gonna teach you anything based off of my opinion. I'm just not gonna do that. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna teach you everything based off of the laws. Because if you operate within the law has to work for you. That's the way it works.
right.
It's so beautiful, this life that we live, and unfortunately, most people are not taking advantage of it. They're not slowing down and enjoying it. And like you said, your biology is directly connected to your psychology.
Mhm.
There is no separation. There is no separation whatsoever. There's no separation between you and I. We're looking at each other. I don't know where you're located, but I'm in Houston, Texas. We're looking at each other on this computer screen, wonderful technology, but there is no separation in us. And it's so weird because this world would make us think that we're separated, but we're not. I tell people we're all one, but we're all one within diversity. You
Yeah.
see, you can't have unity without diversity. And we all come from that one source, that same source that's breathing my body, that same source that's breathing your body is that one source that's keeping life going on our planet and beyond. So
Mhm.
for people to understand, first of all, that they're spirit, you are a spirit having a physical you're having a physical experience on this planet, which is wonderful, and you get to create whatever you want. And I want to say that again because a lot of people just don't believe that. You get to create whatever you want.
Mhm.
And I listened to one of your shows and you were talking about biology and how, we go through the changes of life. You were talking about women going through menopause. You were talking about men going through andropause, which most men have no clue about that. You were talking about low testosterone and how it affects your mood and all these different things, right? I'm going to tell you something. This is going to blow people away and I'm only talking to the bold that are ready to hear this, man. You got 40 trillion. I'm gonna say it again. 40 trillion cells in your body. Some more, some a few less. It just depends on who you are and where you came from and all that good stuff. But typically, you have about 40 trillion cells in your body. You know what's so wonderful about them? They're all listening to you all day, 24/7, all day. And their job is just to create what you speak, what you
Mhm.
believe, what you do. That's their job, is to serve you. And if you'll understand that your cells are here to serve you, then you'll probably start speaking to your body a little bit differently. When I came across these laws, I wanted to test it because I'm, I'm a hard headed man. I don't take things very easily. I want to test stuff to make sure it's true. I believe in integrity. So as soon as I found this out, I took a client and I said I wanted to work with someone and I wanted to transform their body. I have a personal trainer background, of course, as well. So, I had this client and I just wanted to see if she could lose weight without changing her diet, like the world tells you you have to.
Yep.
I wanted to see if she could lose weight and transform her physical body without her going to the gym and lifting weights. I just wanted to see if the power of thought and
Mhm.
the power of speaking and the power of believing could truly transform your physical body. And I put these principles in place, and she actually started doing what I was asking her to do, and you know what? She lost 85 pounds. And she did it without lifting weights. She did it without changing her diet. It was all about her conversation. Because when I actually interviewed her, I noticed that 90% of her conversation was negative towards
Yeah.
herself,
Yeah.
and the other 10% was judgment.
Yeah. Yes.
So I was like, "Listen,
Very low vibrational frequencies.
absolutely, absolutely," and I was just like, "Listen, we've got to change the way you're talking to yourself."
Yeah.
I said, "Your biology is following your psychology. So if you're saying these things to yourself, your body has no choice but to show up that way. And your life has no choice but to show up that way. For your life is a living organism just like you."
Yeah. Yeah, I love this conversation because, you know, when we talk about it, it's people when they're hearing this for the first time, it can be like, like what? Like what does this even mean? And the beauty is science has backed all this up. We have epigenetics that proves what we're talking about. We have Dr. Emoto's work who proved that water has consciousness and our body is mostly made up of water. Are you familiar with that?
I'm super familiar.
Okay.
I've been waiting. I
Yeah.
had to tell you something, Amber. It's crazy. I had a radio show on ESPN. I believe it was 2001 through 2006. And I was talking about these things way back
Yeah.
then. Now, I had to wait because I had to wait for science to catch up with what I already knew. So,
Yeah.
people don't understand when you speak towards things, it changes things.
Yes. Yes.
That's the law. It's
Yes.
the law, and if you don't believe me, if you're married, I want you to go home and speak to your wife or your husband in a negative way over and over, and I promise you it's gonna change some stuff.
Mhm. Oh,
That
yeah.
relationship's gonna change,
Oh my
okay?
gosh.
That's why you should speak. I was talking to someone in the gym the other day. This guy, he was like, "Man, how do you stay so healthy?" and all this. He was asking me all these questions. And I told him, I said, "Man, let me tell you something." I said, "Most people don't understand this." I said, "You shouldn't be eating when you're unhappy. People don't understand how important food is. So if you're an unhappy person and you're in an angry situation and you're eating food, you're actually transforming that food in your body to be a negative impact to your body.
Yes.
That's the truth and that's the law. You can believe it or not,
Yes.
but it's the truth."
Yes.
So I tell people always eat with people you like and people that eat when you're happy, drink water when you're happy, ingest food and nutrition when you're in a good place in your life and you're happy about it, and then speak over it to bless your body. It
Mhm.
will bless your body. That's
Mhm.
just the law of it.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, listen, if you don't believe me, I want you to try whatever I ask you to do for 30 days. And then I want you to observe if it changes or not. If it becomes a positive thing in your life, all I ask you to do is just put the gas on it. If it's not positive, guess what? You can always go back to what you were doing before, but you're never going to know until you try this. You got to try it yourself. And you'll know once you try it yourself, you will not go back. That's what happened to me. I had to try these philosophies. I had to live them to know that they were true. And let me tell you something, there ain't no going back. I know who I am.
Yes, I love that. One thing that I've said for years, and it's so like, I'll get a lot of women that come in here and men that are like, I want to lose weight. And I always tell them, if you just want to lose weight, I am not the practitioner for you because the weight loss is a side effect of what we're going to do. And, one of the things is when we think about digestion, I ask people, like, when does digestion begin? If we're talking about the physical, because most people are like, okay, I can grasp the physical, but the other part, I don't know. And when it's like when I remind people, your digestion begins with your thoughts. Like the moment you start thinking of food, your body, your cells are going to start recruiting enzymes, increasing saliva. It's,
Yes.
hey, bring me this wonderful food that you're about to
Yes.
eat, and I'm going to help distribute it in your body in a loving way. But the moment you say, oh, I shouldn't eat that. Oh, I'm gonna gain weight. That's gonna make me fat. Like, you're now confusing your body. It's like, am I recruiting enzymes? Am I gonna have saliva? What's happening? And you create this disarray of emotions, whether you're eating the donut or whether you're eating the salad. And so I love what you said, like whatever intention we're putting into that food, are we eating with joy? Are we eating with people we love? All of that is transferred into that food. And
Oh,
so
absolutely.
it's so important that, we recognize, yes, our thoughts and our intentions are everything. Okay, so you've worked with a lot of people, successful people, leaders. What do you think is the most common thing that you see when someone is like, they feel stuck or like they feel like they're on the cusp of something, but they're feeling stuck? What do you see is like that thing that is keeping them in that same space when they know they have more potential, when they know there's more, but they're like, I'm stuck. I can't, it's like I can't shift gears.
Well, that goes back to what we were talking about, focus. See, look what you let's use that example. I'm stuck. See,
Mhm.
death and life is through the power of the tongue. I'm stuck. So guess what? You have to be stuck because you spoke that out.
Mm,
Now, you either did it consciously or unconsciously, but here's the deal when you're stuck like that, if you focus on being stuck like that, you're going to stay stuck like that because the energy itself will produce the stuckness, if you will, to make sure you stay there. You see, so when you're in that place, you have to observe the greatness of who you are, and you have to focus on the other side of that stuckness. You have to focus on what you're really trying to create. You have to speak that out. You have to believe it and think it, and then you have to act on it. See, there's three energies: thought, word, deed. If your thoughts, your words, and your deeds are harmonious, synergistically harmonious, there is nothing you cannot create, and it creates itself pretty quickly. You see, because there is no past. That's a hard conversation there.
yes.
There is no future. That's a real hard conversation there. What you really have is just now. You
Mhm,
see, so no matter if you're trying to be that powerful CEO or you're trying to create a wonderful business or whatever you're trying to create for yourself in the future, the key is to be that right now.
mhm.
Be that powerful person right now. Act like you are a successful business person right now. Think that way, speak that way, walk that way, and you will become that way because it is the law. You will not miss it because it's the law. You see, God's laws are irrefutable. I, we get it all mixed up because man's law, it's conditional. It depends on where you're at, who you're with, how much money you got. It's conditional. God's law is not conditional. That's why I tell people leave your opinions to the side, man. I'm getting ready to show you how powerful you are. If you'll just move it to the side and say, hey, I'm going to try this for 30 days. I'm going to pay attention to see if it works for me in my life. And if it does, I'm going to continue to move forward because a lot of this stuff is already inside of you. It's been programmed in your DNA. You
Mhm,
were talking about on one of your shows how people get sick prematurely. See, here's what we need to understand. Before you actually incarnated into this human body, see, I'm gonna give do you mind if I give myself as an example, Anna Marie?
oh, please do.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna use myself as an example so no one will get offended. Because some of the stuff I'm getting ready to say, they're not gonna believe it. I discovered it. It's so true. That's why I said I cracked the code, man. Okay, so here I am. I was born October 18th, 1965 at 2 a.m. That's when I decided to incarnate in my physical body as a human being on this planet. Now, before I came here, I was a divine being completely connected to source. I knew all things, I was all things because I was connected to source. Now, here's the deal. I made a decision to come down here. I made that decision. No one put me here. I decided to come down here to earth and play. So here's what I did. When I came down here, I had a mission. I said, This is what I want to do when I go to Earth." So guess what? When I made that decision, it became stamped into my DNA. It's inside of me. It's in every cell of my body. It's in every breath that I take. It's inside of me. That blueprint is inside of your cells. And if you don't get to it, man, if you don't discover what that is, you're in trouble. You're going to live a life that is not going to be fulfilled. You're going to live a life to where you look back and say, wow, man, what happened? And see, people don't understand if you don't live according to your blueprint and your biology, guess what? You open the door for sickness and disease, premature
Yes.
death,
100%.
aging. I mean, you'll age
Yeah.
aggressively. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's crazy. And you
Yeah.
know why? because every cell in your body knows why you came here.
Mhm.
Everything in the universe, everything on this planet knows why you're here. You just forgot. So it's up to you. The job for you is to remember and then to execute the life that you desire. Most people, I tell them, I said, you got to stop, man. You got to stop right now and know who you are before you do anything else. Because if you don't, you're going to live a life of frustration. You'll know that you are not supposed to get sick.
Mhm. Mhm. That's
You will know that prosperity is in your genes. You're supposed to be prosperous. You're supposed to be.
yeah.
That's the law. See, and these things people just don't understand. And when I show them the way and they start moving that direction, oh my God, Anne Marie, it's over.
Yeah.
Here's what I do with my clients. I tell them this: listen, I don't want to hang out with you forever. I love you. I'm serious.
Same.
I love you. Let's go have some coffee or something. But I don't want to be your coach forever.
Yeah.
I want to
Yes.
teach you and empower you to be your own coach.
Yes.
I want to teach you and empower you to be your own spiritual guru because it's already in you. You just
Yeah.
haven't tapped into it. That's all.
Yeah. I love that. Oh my gosh, this is so refreshing. I love everything you just said. I agree. We all have a mission. It's in our DNA. And the challenge, coming to Earth, Earth has this very dense polarity,
Yes.
night and day, black and white, love and hate. I mean, everything is like so polarized here. And I think that's a part of the mission of remembrance and enlightenment. And it takes getting quiet, it takes listening to that inner wisdom, because what happens is life, this denseness, this is my belief system, this denseness of this earth programs things in us to take us off course. So it's that power of remembrance. And so like when I show up and, my past programming speaking to me, I'm not good enough. That's not available to me. Things like that don't happen for people like me. I have to go back to my breath and get quiet and remember how powerful I am. And those aren't
And
truths. Those are
those are-
programs.
that you know what that's social conditioning.
Yes.
Have you noticed when you came here? Look what we do. Look what we do to each other. I
Yes.
told my wife this is so funny. Here we go. I'm going to use myself as an example. Let me show you how they segregate us, how they disempower us,
Mhm,
okay, and how they socialize us, okay?
mhm.
So here I come. I come here to Earth. I don't know if I'm a male or a female. I'm a spiritual energy, so I'm everything, right? So I don't know if you know this or not. You probably do. All human beings start off as women.
Of course.
That's that's the glory and the energy of it all. So anyway, that's a deeper conversation too.
Yes.
But so here we go. I come to Earth and I enter my body. So what is the first thing they tell me? Oh, Tony,
You're
you're a male.
mhm.
Okay, so they just categorize me as a man, male. Okay, so now I'm a male. So there's some social conditioning, some things I should know being a man on this planet. So guess what? My daddy started teaching me those things because he was socialized. So he socialized me to think the same way as a man. Okay, and then I even got socialized even deeper. Oh, not only are you a man, you're a black man. Oh boy. So now I've got to start believing the stories about being a black man. Okay. And let me tell you, I lived this stuff out, man. I lived it out until I finally discovered that this stuff was not true. It was a social lie and a social conditioning to minimize me as a spiritual being living on this physical planet in this physical life in a physical body. So when I dropped all that socialization and I realized my divinity, I realized my power has nothing to do with religion, politics, or anything like that. It has to do with the law of my being. When I understood and realized these things and I activated these things, oh my God, I went from poverty to prosperity. I went from bad health to good health, and it just happened naturally because
Mhm.
the body has that programmed in it. When you get back to the essence of who you are, you start believing in it. You asked me, you said, Tony, what is that problem that you have found? I tell people this: I've got a signature speech, and you know what it's called? You only have one problem, it's your beliefs.
Yes.
That's your only problem.
Yeah.
If you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you're absolutely right. You only have one problem, and that's your belief. And your beliefs come from socialization.
Yes. Yes. So
So I always ask people this. I had some folks come to me and say the same thing, Anna. "Hey, I want to lose weight." I said, "Really?" They said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay. Can I ask you a question?" "Sure." The question is why? Okay, first you got to understand the law of loss. See, when we lose things, what is the first thing we do? We try to find it.
Yep, yep.
So if you lose weight, 9 out of 10 people that lose weight, they gain it back within the year, year and a half. Why? Because they lost it. They didn't say to themselves, I want to transform my physical body and I want to improve my body composition and start
Mhm,
doing it that way. Because guess what happens? When you do it that way, you may lose weight.
mhm,
Okay. And you will start to transform your body when you start speaking in that manner. Why? Because your body was created for health, your
mhm,
body was created for movement, your
mhm,
body was created as a living organism of creation. That is the law of who you are. I don't care if you are a corporate CEO, president of a Fortune 500 company, or if you're sitting under the bridge still trying to get your life together. That's the truth of who you are. My approach that I take with everybody, and I think this is why I've been so successful. And I've had some executives try to push back on me. It was so funny, Anna. I go into presidents' offices and I talk to these guys, and they're pretty powerful people. And they're used to telling everybody what to do.
Yes.
They
That's
are.
why they love people like us.
They love it.
We don't give them that satisfaction. We don't give them that agreeance.
I smile when they're doing that. And when they get done, I said, "Are you done?" They say, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
You're the CEO of this corporation, but you're not the CEO of me. You hired me to help you. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do it my way. And if it works, great. We'll keep going. If it doesn't work, then we'll talk about that. But I already knew it would work because I work with the laws of the body. So at the end of the day, I know I cannot help anyone, Anna. And you know this to be true. You can't help anyone until they change that internal conversation.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change until you change the internal conversation. It's the
Mhm,
thing that's controlling you. It's the thing that's moving you. It's the thing that makes you take action. It's the thing that's helping you to create the life that you have right now, regardless if you like it or not. You
mhm,
see? So at the end of the day, you got to change that internal conversation. And one thing I know for sure that will change anybody's and everybody's internal conversation is when you start exercising.
mhm,
You just start talking better to yourself.
mhm,
It just happens naturally. And then your body starts transforming naturally. And then your life starts getting better naturally. This has happened with 100% of every single client I've worked with. When I realized that, I used to tell my clients, if you're not willing to work out, I can't help you. Just like you said, I'm not your coach.
yep,
You see, 'cause at the end of the day, I know your power, your frequency, your vibration comes from your body. And when you're unhealthy, all your energy is focused on trying to get healthy.
mhm,
So I tell them, listen, we got to change that internal conversation. We got to strengthen your belief. And the way I do that is by taking you and getting you in the gym. Because if you go in the gym and start lifting weights, guess what? You're going to build resistance into your body. You're going to build resiliency in your body. You're going to increase your frequency, increase your vibration. So your ability to create becomes very magnetic, very strong. So that's the first step that I take is getting the physical body healthy because when people are healthy, they talk better to themselves. When they're unhealthy, they don't talk very well to themselves. So that's what I use. That internal conversation is first, and then we move from there.
mm. I love it. I love it. One thing you said earlier that I wanna share something about is you said, like, almost like fake it till you make it. Like, you just keep telling yourself the things
Now,
that
did you hear that? Watch this, Anna. I'm sorry to mean to cut you off, but what? This is the stuff I change. See, we got to be careful about what we say.
Yeah,
Fake it until you make it. Listen to that. Listen to how that feels.
right.
Now, watch this. If you're a person of integrity, you're not going to wear that very well. Fake
Mhm,
it until you make it. Now, here's what I tell people just be it. So you're
mhm.
not faking it, you're being it. You're changing your energy by being it. So you're not faking it. What you're doing is you are broadcasting a brand new message. So
Yes.
life can support you in that manner. So I want you to change your mindset with that. Not fake it until you make it. Just be what you want to be right now and don't be afraid of it. Then the universe can support you in that.
Yes, I love that. So being, it is a state of being,
Yes.
and allowing yourself to be that future person that you envision, but as we know, there's no future, there's just now. And with that concept is like for me, when I'm stepping into something, I always think of the future self that I'm creating. and I step into that being right now, would my future self make this decision? Yes or no? What I found, there's been moments where I feel, most people call it that imposter syndrome or
Right.
whatnot, right? So I heard this quote from Mel Robbins and it changed everything in me. So not only do we have that state of being, right? That future self we desire, and we get to embody that and be that right now. But if that imposter syndrome steps in at any moment for any second, Mel Robbins says you just approach it as, "I'm not an imposter, I'm just a beginner." And that shifted it for me.
That is huge,
Beginner.
man.
That is the
Yes.
and then even further when I got that, right? When I got that, I was like, "Okay, beginner." And then I had these chills come over me, which I have right now, and then I remembered, you're not even close to a beginner. You've done this before. You
Yes.
know your purpose. You know where you're at. You know where
Yes.
you're supposed to be going.
Yes. So you had to
Now, like
sidestep fear.
yes, it's like that physical body and all the programming when you just at least say, "Okay, yeah, remember you're a beginner." And then you kinda laugh at it because 'cause you're like, "I'm not even a beginner, I've done this before, my soul is so evolved." It's like, it just opened so much for me.
I
And
just
that
want to dig into that deeper. Remember, you are a spiritual being, right?
yes,
So a spiritual being means that you are eternal, correct?
yes,
A spiritual being coming from source means that you are omnipotent and omnipresent. You know everything and you're everywhere, correct? So
yes,
guess what? There's nothing you can do on this planet that you haven't done before. So you are master of it all.
yes.
That's the key. When you understand that, you will not walk in fear anymore because you'll know I've already did this, man. I'm already a master of this. I just need to walk in that and be that person right now. Just like what you said, Anna. You are right on point with that,
Yeah,
man. That's
yes.
huge. That is so huge.
It's just and this is the stuff is having these conversations. Right? Because these are not normal conversations that we're brought up with. Now, these are normal conversations I'm having with my children.
Oh, sure, because guess what? Back in the day when I was growing up, here's the deal. Life itself is evolution. Amen.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. That's the purpose of life. Evolve, evolve. So we are evolving as humans. We are evolving as a society. There's a lot of information we have now that we didn't have 20 years ago. Just like you said, you're having a different conversation with your children because your level of consciousness has elevated and evolved to a higher level to where you could give your children this great, valuable information. My parents didn't know this stuff, so they
Mhm.
couldn't teach me.
Right. Yeah.
So they didn't know, so they couldn't teach me, but, the great thing about it is you're teaching your children, so you're bringing up a brand new generation of people, which are that's what's happening right now. I tell people this thing about, I tell people this is and they're like, "Tony, you're a little crazy." I'm like, "I know. I don't live in this world. I don't live in this box." So at the end of the day, this big push that we have with AI right now, everybody's talking about AI, artificial intelligence,
Mhm.
right? You ready to reframe this? We are DI, human beings. We're DI, creating AI.
Mm.
We are divine intelligence, creating artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is just a reflection of our divine intelligence. That's
Oh,
all. And if
mhm.
you notice that artificial intelligence can't even work without us, we
That
are powerful human beings. There's nothing you can do to actually discredit that. You can just walk in it and just be it, and don't be afraid of it. And I promise you, when you do that, your life's going to turn into happiness. Your life's going to turn into love. Your life's going to turn into joy. Your life's going to turn into peace. You're going to have prosperity. You won't have bad health because it's already programmed in your body. You're just tapping in to the program in your body. That's all.
mm, I love it. I love it. This is so good.
This is law. Again, Anna, this is law, sweetheart. If I got in my car, see, I live in Houston. One of the most dangerous highways in our country is Interstate 45. And it runs from my house all the way downtown to Houston, to the city of Houston. Now watch this. There's a speed limit which is 65 miles an hour to get on the highway. Now I have a choice. Again, law, law. I'm just trying to show people about the power of law and how to work with it. So I have a choice. I can do what everybody else in Houston does. I can speed and cut people off and do all this stuff, which is going to make me super frustrated. I'm gonna have a lot of anxiety. I'm gonna be upset driving in traffic, right? I could do it that way if I wanted to. Or I could speed and put myself at risk of being pulled over by the Houston Police Department, and I'm going to get a ticket for breaking that law. Or I can do what I do. The speed limit's 65. I set my cruise control. Thank God for technology. I set my cruise control for 70 because I know we can go 5 miles over without getting a ticket. So I
Yep.
set my cruise control. Again, I'm maximizing the law. I'm not breaking it. They're not going to give me a ticket if I'm going 5 miles over. I know that. So I go 70 miles an hour. I set my cruise control, and then you know what I do, Anna? This is crazy. You see, I'm a powerful being. My words do not return to me void. What I speak will happen.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I know.
I know exactly what you're doing because I
So
do.
you know what I do? I start speaking to traffic and telling it to get out of my way. And you know what happens? Cars just move. They move out of my way. I don't have any problems. I pray for the people that are on because I know there's a lot of unconscious people driving these cars.
Yes.
So as I'm driving, I am giving love to everybody in their vehicle, even the people cutting me off. I'm like
Mhm.
safety all the way to your home. I start speaking because I want people to be protected. I want them to be happy, healthy, and whole, like you said, but I do know the power that I possess. And I exercise that power every single day.
Mhm.
And it works for me. And it works for you too if you'll just exercise it. The problem is you're not exercising your power.
Yep.
That's the problem. I tell people this, you know what? Your life is magnificent. You're in the way.
Yeah, right?
Your health is perfect. You're in the way.
Mhm.
Your finances were created for abundance. You're in the way. People don't even understand money. The
Yeah,
energy
you're
of money. I was broke, man. Let me tell you something. The energy of money is movement too.
yep.
Look at the banking systems. What do they want you to do? Put the money in the bank and let it sit there,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't work for you when it sits there. It works
Right.
for the banks because they're using your money to invest in things. Your money is moving, I promise you. It's moving with the bank moving it. That's why they make the lion's share of the profit and you get a little bit. So what I tell people is make sure your money is moving.
Mhm.
And the,
Mhm.
the quickest way to increase the quickest way I have found to increase my prosperity, you ready? Give money away.
Mhm. Mhm.
How do you think I got down there under the bridge? I started giving money to those people. I had someone in my car one day. Me and my wife, we were driving, and we had a passenger in the back seat. We pulled over and gave this person a bunch of cash. And the person in the back seat said, "What are you doing that for? They're just going to use that money for drugs, and they're going to." I was like, "Wow, that's a lot of judgment coming out of your mouth." I said, "Listen, I don't care what they use that money for. My job is to help. Okay, so I'm just giving them the gift that what they asked for, and what they do with it is up to them. That's not on me at all. What's
Mhm.
on me is I seen another human being that needed help. I had money in my pocket to give that person money. I had an opportunity to bless them. I took that opportunity. Why? Because if that was my brother, my mother, or my sister, I would do it. You understand? So that's the way I live my life. I take every opportunity to love every human being that comes to me. Why? Because there is a law, Anna, and I promise you, if you'll look at it this way moving forward, you're going to see it too, especially you being a leader the way you are. You deal with a lot of people. And guys, listen to me. If you're listening to this, I really need you to understand. This will help you with your interactions with other human beings, and you'll start to understand why people are coming into your life.
Mhm.
There are three. You'll notice you see that three. Three is so powerful. There are three gifts you're going to get when you meet another human being. You just have to look for it. You will always get inspiration when you have a conversation with another human being. It's going to inspire you to either think differently, see something differently, or do something differently. The second gift you will always get when you meet any human being under the bridge or in the corporate setting, it doesn't matter. You're going to get confirmation. See,
Yeah.
things that God has been telling you to do, whispering to you, but you just don't believe it or you're fearful to take action or you want a different answer.
That one.
You see, if you want a different answer, the thing about God, He's going to tell you the truth all the time. So you can ask the question many times, many different ways. It's still going to be the same answer. So confirmation is going to come because God is still trying to kind of push you forward, saying, "Hey, I've told you to do this, but you won't do it. So I'm going to have someone else tell you to do it, and maybe you'll do it." I always tell people confirmation means go.
Yeah.
Whenever you hear confirmation on something you know you should be doing or thinking or going in that direction, just go. You're going to be
I
surprised.
I gotta throw something in here.
Please do.
I went to service last week on Sunday, and the pastor was talking about, um, your calling, like, when you have a calling and you know you're supposed to do something, but you just kinda put it off, just kinda procrastinate. You know you're gonna get to that thing, you gotta do that thing, you're supposed to do that thing, but you put it off. Doesn't feel sinful, doesn't feel sinful at all. You're not sinning, you're just not doing that thing that you were called to do in that moment, but you know you'll get to it. And so he was talking about this, and it was like, "Oh my gosh," because he's like, "But that is your sin." Like, if you have a calling and you know you're supposed to be doing it, but yet you keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off.
See, your pastor was talking about what you and I were just discussing, that calling is the blueprint
Yeah,
inside of your DNA.
and
See what
it'll
I'm saying?
yes, and it'll eat away at you.
It'll kill you.
Yes, it'll
Listen,
make you
I
sick.
ran from what I'm doing right now for so long. I went and opened up a bunch of other companies. They some of them were successful, some of them were not. I had to get back to what I was created for. I
Yeah.
had to get back to the message and the method and the blueprint of what I came here for. Once
Mhm.
I did that, all those things went away. My health got so much better. Everything just got better naturally. So your
Yeah.
pastor is right on point. If you don't follow, that's why I tell people stop right now. And you talked about the power of silence. I
Mhm.
tell people let silence speak.
Mhm.
If you'll get to a place of silence, you will hear God's voice because it's already inside of you. You just are too busy doing what you're doing to slow down and take care
Yeah.
of yourself and your life. And I tell people if you can't take 5 minutes a day for you, 5 minutes a day to give you the power, the clarity, the creation of what you're trying to do in your life, man, you might
Yeah.
want to revisit what you're doing in your life, man. You got to take at least 5 to 10 minutes. My challenge to the listeners right now, because there's things inside of you that you're ignoring. I know it. There are things that you need to do that you're afraid of, you have anxiety about, you have fear and doubt about it, and you're not doing it, but it's pulling at you. It's pulling at every fiber of your being.
Mhm.
And I'm telling you right now, if you don't step into that, it's going to get worse
Yes.
because everything in life is trying to push you to the direction and the purpose and plan that you agreed upon before you entered this body and entered this life and entered this world. God hasn't forgot. You have.
Yes.
And everything else in life has not forgot. You have. So when you remember and you start stepping into that, you're going to really see what kind of power you have. You really will. So it's about now. It's about not putting it off tomorrow. It's
Yeah.
not about, saying, "Hey, I got one more thing to do before I do that." You see, one of the things I learned about life too, and this is a real tough conversation, either you get on plan or you get removed from the plan.
Mm.
That's a strong statement, and I'm not trying to scare anyone. The reason why I know these things is because Anna, during the course of my life, I've spent a lot of time sitting bedside by people that were leaving their physical bodies. They
Mm.
were dying. And I had the pleasure to ask them questions and to get knowledge and to gain wisdom. And I'm telling you now, the last thing you want is to go through this life and not fulfill your destiny. Go through this life and not do what you were created to do because you're going to have to reconcile that on your deathbed. It will come. And I'm not trying to make anybody fearful. I'm just trying to help you die with dignity. We all have to pass out of this physical body.
Yeah.
Why not on that day, you look back at your life and say, well done.
Mm.
I did the things I was supposed to do. I came here with a purpose and I fulfilled that purpose and that plan. I didn't come here to fulfill society's purpose and plan, and a lot of you are doing that.
Yes.
That's just they've done a great job conditioning us.
Mhm.
It took me 30 years to get unconditioned. So I know they've done a great job, you know? So you got to get on plan. If you really want peace, purpose, and prosperity in your life and power, you got to get on plan. And most people don't understand how to find that plan. They
Yeah.
don't know. Well, you know what's so crazy is they know, but they're fearful.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
How do I do what God has put in my heart and live? How do I, you know what? Every the gift that's been put inside of you, I promise you this, you can monetize it.
Mhm.
It was given to you. You can monetize that gift and make a great living. You don't have to be fearful of that. Just step out and do what's in your heart. The money will follow.
Mm.
To whom much is given, much is required.
Yes.
You're a Christian lady, Anna. You know that's the scripture.
Mhm.
To whom much is given, much is required. And God has given you much, and it's called life. God has given you much. It's called your breath. God has given you much. It's called your ability to create. So I challenge you, stand up, be the person that God created you to be. Don't be afraid of it. You were not meant to fit in. Let me say it again. You were not created to fit in, but you were created to fit in. If you could understand what I'm saying,
Mhm.
you were created to fit into this tapestry of life, this beautiful creation of creation. You were created to fit in there, but you were created to be unique in that, yourself in that. That's what you were created for you are an expression of the Almighty. Do you not know that? No matter where you are in your life, you are an expression of the Almighty. And all you have to do is agree with it. You won't agree with it.
That's good.
So it won't show up in your life. It can't show up in your life until you agree with it. You have to agree with your greatness. You have to agree with the magnificence of your biology. You have to agree that your words are powerful and creative. You have to agree and know when your words, your thoughts, and your deeds line up, be it good or bad, they create because it's the law. I promise you, if you look at anything in your life that you don't like, I promise you, thought, word, and deed is the foundation of that creation. It is the law. And if you look at anything in your life that you do like, thought, word, deed was the creation of it. That's the law of your being. So if you want to change anything in your life, anything, I don't care where you're at, you must change your thoughts about it. You must change your words about it. And you must change your deeds about it, or it will never change.
Mm.
That's the law. And you think I'm playing? Call me up. I'll show you a map in 30 days and you'll look back and you'll never go back again.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. I feel like that's where we get to end it at.
Isn't that
That's
perfect?
so perfect. Man, I think the only thing left that needs to be said is how can people connect with you?
Very simple. I want to talk to anyone who's ready to change their life. I don't care where you're at. Let's have a conversation. I'm going to show you how powerful you are. I'm going to show you how to live your life with no more excuses. I'm going to show you how to walk into whatever you desire to walk into because it's already here. Your frequency and your vibration is just not matching it.
Mm.
And I'm going to show you how to match it, that frequency, that vibration, so that it will materialize in your life right now. Because that's the law. When we work with the law works with us. When we work against the law, then the law works against us. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
So the way you could contact me is you, the letter U, the letter R, the letter H, the number 3, and the letter O.com. You are H3O.com.
Mm.
And I'm going to show you that you are the evolution of water and dirt. That's where that
Mhm.
H3O comes from. Because what is water? H2O, isn't it?
Yes.
You know what's so wonderful, Anna? God gave all this stuff to me. This is not this. I know people like, man, dude, whatever. Everybody says it. No, you don't understand. See, I got into my time of meditation and clarity. I was receiving heavy downloads about this information. When God first told me, call that program H3O, I didn't know what that meant. And then I started looking at it and he gave me an example. And I'm going to use this and we're going to close on this. I promise. You ready? Because I want people to understand what H3O is because they are H3O. You and I, we're going to play Anna. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You talked about this. Your body is what?
What's
73% water.
Yep.
So that's your biology. You're almost all water. Water is the most what? Powerful element on the planet.
Yep.
Water is what?
Universal solvent.
Oh man, listen. Here's the deal. Not only that, water has three stages, don't it? Or three states. It has a gas state, it has a liquid state, and it also has a solid state. You see that three again? Ooh, there's that three again. Guess what? You are spirit, mind, and body. Ooh, there's that three again. Guess what? The power of your being in creation is thought, word, deed. Ooh, there's that three again. When you go to church, what they teach you, huh? Father, Son, Holy Ghost. There's that three again. Oh, it's crazy. Right, so here we go, Hannah. You're water, and you know what? You're also dirt. Did you know that?
Mhm.
And if you don't believe me, where do we put our bodies when we pass? We put them right back in the dirt where we came from.
Yeah.
Now watch this. If you look at soil, you'll find out that the human body has 96 minerals in it, which is pretty identical to what soil has.
Mhm.
Okay, now watch this, Anna. You are 73% water. Now watch. I can get me a glass of water right now. I can go to the ocean right now and I can talk to that water or talk to that ocean and say, "Build me a house." That water and that ocean is not going to be able to build me a house. It can destroy my house, but it can't build one for me. I can go to the dirt and say the same thing. Build me a home, build me a car. It can't do it. It doesn't have the creative ability to do that. Now, the dirt has the creative ability to create vegetation so I can eat it and be healthy, but it can't build me a home. I can set a home on top of dirt, but it can't build me a home. But guess what, Anna? If I came to you and I said, Anna, I need you to build me a home. You may not know how to do it right now, but I promise you, you can go on YouTube, find a tutorial, get a bunch of guys together. You eventually have the ability and capability of building me a home. Yes or no?
Yes.
So do you see you're the evolution of
Mhm.
water and dirt? You're H3O.
I love it. So good.
That's where that came from. So when I start teaching you the principles and laws, if you'll just be bold enough and believe enough, I'm actually going to take you from belief to knowing.
Mm.
That's where your power is. Knowing, not believing. See, because believing is a little still it's still a little shaky. Is it going to happen? Will it really happen to me? Am I worthy? I mean, really, when is it going to happen? Is it really going to happen? There's still a little bit of anxiety, doubt, and fear there.
Mhm.
But when you know there is no anxiety, there is no doubt, there is no fear. See, I know who I am. I know the power of my words, and I know I am living in a creative world and I am a creative master. I know these things. I don't believe them. I know them. That's why I move my life in a totally different way. So that's what I want to help people. I want people to know, man. I
I
want you to
love
know who you really are before they
it.
socialized you. I want you to know who you really are before you enter that male or female body. It's just a tool. Okay. Don't put too much faith in it. It's just a tool. It's a temporary tool because you're going to leave it. And I want you to actually focus on the things that are eternal. What I mean by that, things that don't change. Your body changes. I don't look the same as I looked when I was in my 20s. I'm still a good looking man, but I don't look the same. You know what I mean? I don't feel the same. So at the end of the day, everything changes. Only thing that doesn't change is your spirit.
Mhm.
And so that's how they can contact me if they want to have a real open, honest dialogue and conversations. Because I'm going to ask you some deep questions, man. Some things that most people have never asked you before, but we're going to discover what's going on. And we're also going to create a plan for you to execute for 30 days. And you're going to pay attention and you're going to see how powerful you are. So you can contact me again at urh3o.com.
Mm. Love it. Anthony, thank you so much for joining me today. This was truly a pleasure.
You are a queen, woman. I am so glad to be in your presence. You know what? Here's the deal. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna go because the guys are probably kick my butt. The women are the most powerful ones on this planet. And I want you to pay attention to something, what God is doing, Anna, and you're the forefront of this. Have you noticed the movement of women moving into leadership?
Oh, yeah.
This is part of the evolutionary change that's going to happen. I know things that people don't know. So when you see these things happen, be happy. It's time for the guard to be changed.
Yes.
Us men, we have done a great job, but it's time for the women to start leading a little bit with a little bit more love, compassion, and strength.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited to be in your presence. I'm very thankful that you allowed me to come on your show and give me an opportunity to serve humanity. Thank you.
Thank you.